Well, after 3 years of waiting and a couple of unexpected last-minute delays, the runaway Xbox hit Halo 2 has finally made its way to the PC. So what can we PC gamers expect after all this time? Well, not much that we didn't see when the title was on the Xbox. Though Halo 2 includes all the post-release map packs and benefits from some new Vista-powered features, there's really nothing surprisingly different about the PC release. Now, it's true that we lost cooperative play somewhere in the transition, and that was a surprise, but that's about the only difference between the Xbox version and the PC version. And for those 2 or 3 of you who don't know Halo, it's a tightly paced, action-heavy sci-fi shooter, and it's easily one of, if not the most popular titles on the original Xbox. The sequel takes the basic formula of the first game and adds a few new twists, like dual-wielding weapons, vehicle jacking, and even the chance to shift the focus away from Master Chief for a while. Now, the dual wield option is nice in that it allows you to mix and match weapon types and to double up on your death dealing potential. To balance it out, however, you'll be limited to smaller guns and you won't be able to throw grenades while holding 2 weapons at the same time. And that's a nice way to force the player into making the choice based on the fight they're likely to have in front of them. At the very least, it just looks cool to have 2 machine guns blazing away at once. And though the overall arc of the story is interesting, the story itself is really just an excuse for an endless succession of frantic firefights. The game itself is very linear, so the story is going to take care of itself as long as you keep on shooting things. The cinematic cutscenes here add a little bit of drama to the story, but their main purpose really seems to be to give you a chance to rest your trigger finger for a while. Nevertheless, the overall story here is pretty satisfying, but it ends on a cliffhanger that makes The Empire Strikes Back seem like a satisfying denouement by comparison. The keyboard controls are solid. It takes some getting used to, but eventually you may, like us, come to prefer the mouse and keyboard to the gamepad. All of the controls are very responsive and thoughtfully laid out, and they stand up well in comparison to other PC shooters. Negotiating your way through firefights with intelligent aliens who know when to hide and when to strike definitely requires an uncomplicated yet handy control scheme. There are still plenty of wrinkles to be ironed out in Microsoft's Live functionality, but the online experience of Halo 2 is just as enjoyable on the PC as it was on the Xbox. There are loads of maps and loads of game types here, and even an editor that players can use to create their own online content, and even run their own dedicated servers. Full support for buddy lists, voice over IP, and one single online identity for all your games is something that PC gamers have been asking for years now, and it's nice to see it finally realized in Halo 2. The problem here is that these advantages are appealing only to the extent that they make you forget that you're playing a 3-year-old game. Still, once we managed to get the service up and running, it was very much as easy and open as the live experience on the Xbox. Unfortunately, the auto-aim assist that kicks in when you're using a gamepad creates a bit of an imbalance online when you're playing with people using the mouse and keyboard. Halo 2 was near the forefront of the graphics envelope for the consoles when it was released in 2004, and while the overall art style is held up well, the visuals themselves leave a lot to be desired when compared to other recent PC games. Hired Gun have improved the models and some of the textures, but there are still some muddy textures in nearly every area of the game, and some poor models here and there. Even running at the highest settings on our newest PCs, the game just looks old. Now, if you happen to have a PC that falls anywhere below the recommended requirements for the game, you're really in for a real disappointment in terms of performance. Naturally, Halo 2 has fantastic sound design. The music adds loads of atmosphere and excitement to the game, and the sound effects really help to capture the futuristic, battle-happy experience. Dialogue is also excellent, with plenty of humorous asides thrown out by your allies and your enemies during the battle. As a launch title for their new Games for Windows service, Halo 2 is pretty unimpressive. The editor and live functionality are definitely steps in the right direction, but the fact that this game is so old and is something that we've played before really doesn't make it very appealing to PC gamers, particularly when compared against the games that are currently on shelves that are competing against Halo 2.